have you been watching the new series of the Gladiators? Well, I have, and it was one of those rare occasions where I was going to break my rule of not really watching much TV. But this one was an absolute must. It's something I used to love watching when I was a kid. For those of you familiar with it, Gladiators is a sports entertainment TV show in the UK, but it's also been across the world. It's been one of the most defining game shows back in the 90s in the UK. Athletic members of the public battle as contenders against the show's very own mighty gladiators to earn an array of points in events that test their speed, strength, stamina, and skill. The contender with the most points earns a head start as they move towards the end of the show and the dreaded eliminator course. Basically, the first to finish wins the episode and moves on to the next round in the hope of being crowned the series champion. Now, this returned back to our screens in 2024, and our very own Bronte Jones from the firefighter community was right there in the thick of it, kicking ass and taking names. She did absolutely incredibly, and as you will have seen on the final episode that recently came out, she unfortunately sustained an injury in the final, which brought to an end an absolutely incredible demonstration of athleticism and really just the great values, determination and resiliency that we expect from our frontline first responders firefighters. So as you won't be surprised to hear, the fire service is not a massive community, certainly here in the UK, and through a few shared connections to previous guests, myself and Bronte found ourselves chatting away about her experience as she has gone through the show. And right here, you're going to get the inside scoop. You're going to hear exactly what it was like being on the show, being part of something like that. You're going to hear what you had to do to apply for it. We're going to talk about Bronte's weightlifting background, why she goes to the gym, her high achieving mindset, and how that was developed and nurtured in her even from a child. We're going to talk about putting yourself around positive people, and also a little bit around healthy selfishness, how you need to make sure you fill your own cup up first to be able to have the mental fortitude to take on challenges like this. And obviously we're going to touch base on setbacks and that mental resiliency. Bronte got an injury during the show, but it was actually filmed quite some time ago, so she's almost fully recovered. And today we're talking about her reflections on the show, her role as a firefighter, and this whole mad journey that was Gladiators 2024. So I hope you take a lot from it. It was a real privilege to chat with Bronte, and I really look forward to seeing her at some events in the future. She's an incredible young woman, incredible athlete, and an incredible example of the type of people that are attracted to the role of a firefighter and first responder. Thanks for coming back to the podcast. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you on the other side.
I originally applied to be a gladiator because I thought it'd be absolutely amazing. It was all filmed in Sheffield. How brilliant would that be? Our hometown. So yeah, I applied to be a gladiator. I just didn't hear nothing back for absolutely ages. Like, this was 2022, I think. Like, when it was a real while ago now. And yeah, I just didn't hear nothing for absolutely ages. So I just thought, I just not got on or anything. But then they rang me up close to when they started filming and just said, so all the gladiators have been sorted now, but we'd like to come and try out to be contender. So I was like, oh yeah, brilliant. So I went to Manchester to do like a day of testing and stuff. And then I found out after that I was going to be part of the show, but literally didn't have any time to train or anything because it was so quick. Even though my dad, since I've been born, has been in the fire service, I was never like, yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. It's kind of out of the blue because I just started my first year of sixth form and I saw that they were recruiting for whole-time firefighters again. And I've not spoken to Dad about it before, but it just popped up. Like, oh Dad, watch this. And he was like, yeah, it'd be brilliant as a firefighter. And it just kind of went from there, really. But yeah, it was one of them things that I wasn't like dead set, like, yes, this is what I want to do. I kind of just applied off the cuff. I really was shocked because my dad and obviously other people had said that normally it takes a few times to like applying to get on. So I went to Manchester to do like a day of just testing and stuff. And then I found out after that I was going to be part of the show, but literally didn't have any time to train or anything because it was so quick. It was like different stuff, like how many burpees you can do in a minute, how many dumbbell snatches, some rowing and sprints, and then there was some stuff on camera, like to see how you was on camera and things like that. So that was pretty similar, to be fair. It was over a couple of days, so my slot was about 3 hours, and they like split us up into 2 groups. So I think there was about 10 in my group, 10 in the other group. There were quite a lot of people, and yeah, there were some machines there, like some proper like muscles and 6-packs going off, and I don't have. I was just kind of thinking, oh, I think I'm out my depth a bit here. I love competing, I don't like training, so I thought, well, if I love competing and love going to the gym, and I'd seen like the sort of numbers that was like national level in weightlifting, which I could do. So I thought, why don't I just start competing in this instead? And I'm still fairly new into it. I've not done that many comps. I've been doing it for a couple of years now. And yeah, I'm so accident prone. I had so many accidents with the bar. Just like dropping it on my things like that. But it's all part of it. All my biggest injuries, none of them have come from weightlifting. They've all come from different things like skiing and random things like that. But yeah, I've not had anything that's been like breaking your wrist. It's kind of like there's no coming back from that really. So yeah, fingers crossed that won't for a long time yet. So weightlifting is snatch and clean and jerk. And I'd never really met Emily before Gladiators. I've competed against her since. But before I knew who she was, like, because she's got a few like the junior records and stuff, and I followed her on Instagram and things like that, but I'd never actually done a competition with her. But yeah, it was good to like be up against. I mean, I never got a one-on-one with Dynamite, which I was kind of. We both compete under 64. She's just really little. Yeah, I think I'm 5'6". I think she's a little bit smaller than me. It would have been good to go against her just to see like both like lifting similar, just to see what we were like one-on-one. So it is literally all just technique. Obviously you have to have strong legs, but it's more like moving around the bar rather than actually moving the bar, if you know what I mean. I'm quite the anomaly because I sort of use my strength more because my technique's a bit shocking, to be fair. But, yeah, sort of like it's more just being faster than how quick the bar moves. If you're moving up, you want to get under it faster. Yeah, that's kind of the general aim of it, really. I try and surround myself with as many positive people as I can. Like, for example, Harry, my boyfriend, five-time Muay Thai world champion. So, you know, he's a well. But yeah, I think it's just more just setting myself my own personal goals of what I can achieve and focus on that, really. I think it is important to surround yourself with other inspirational people, but sometimes I think it's just nice to try and inspire, no matter how big a goal is. Like, it doesn't have to be a world champion, it can just be anything. I think you just got to, no matter what level you're at, just have some goals to achieve and then just feel like you've achieved something in a day, sort of way of looking at it. So I think I've always been a high achiever. Like, there's kind of a saying in my family that's always like, we don't do average. And so from being like young, I've always sort of pushed myself to do more. And I've always had something, like whether it be athletics or weightlifting or gladiators or something, I just like that pressure on me. I feel like I perform better when I've got pressure on me. But yeah, like you said, I'm the typical humble person. Or if I've done something, I'm always like, oh yeah, you're alright. I try and surround myself with as many positive people as I can. Like, for example, Harry, my boyfriend, five-time Muay Thai world champion. So, you know, he's a well. But yeah, I think it's just more just setting myself my own personal goals of what I can achieve and focus on that, really. I think it is important to surround yourself with other inspirational people, but sometimes I think it's just nice to try and inspire, no matter how big a goal is. Like, it doesn't have to be a world champion, it can just be anything every day, sort of. Yeah, I think it's quite a difficult question, that, but I think you've just got to, no matter what level you're at, just have some goals to achieve and then just feel like you've achieved something in a day, sort of.
The Firefighters podcast was created to recognize, acknowledge, inspire, and hopefully even motivate these incredible individuals who have chosen to be part of the first responder community. Our driving purpose is to create a legacy resource for the current and future generations of firefighters and first responders. We get some incredible feedback from listeners and guests, and as the podcast grows, our desire to create longevity and sustainability means that we are asking for the support of our listeners. If you want to support the podcast, if you want to get discounts to our merchandise, hoodies, clothing, coins, patches, tallies, and also access to all of the incredible documents get shared with us from our podcast guests and sector leaders, then please head over to our Patreon page, and for just £3 a month, you can support the future of the podcast. Please finally hit that follow, subscribe, or rate button on the platform you're listening, and wherever you're in the world, please support your emergency services responders, and thank you for listening.